Okay? Do we expect something in return for our compassion that we show to the poor? Are we transactional? Maybe that the poor will be grateful for what our mission team did for them. That they will see all these things and they go, wow, those Americans are amazing. You know, that's just going to motivate me. Boy. Or maybe they will gladly imitate our work ethic. You know, we just got to work hard. They're going to see that. They're going to want to imitate us. Or maybe that they will just gratefully come to Jesus, come to church, take ownership of the project, or whatever, out of gratitude. Out of gratitude. My friends, gratitude is like the wind. It's here today, gone tomorrow. You know, you can buy love in many cities if you've got money. The love runs out when your money runs out. When you're poor. Same thing in a mission approach like this. This is helping that doesn't help people. And when you're looking at your short-term mission teams, these are things to build awareness about. And this is a very good quote that I picked up once. If you're helping someone and expecting something in return, you're doing business. You're not doing kindness. You're not doing compassion. So, yeah. So, this is kind of a rock. If we have that little expectation that we're going to do all these things and they're going to be so grateful that they're going to just come to Jesus and know Him and enjoy Him forever. You know, that's not a firm foundation. What if we could build a foundation based on trust instead of gratitude? Do you realize that you can give things to people and do things for them and they will be grateful to you? That doesn't mean they trust you. In fact, behind your back, you may be sowing more distrust than you think. I wonder, is it said? Yeah, I wonder if He gave us all the money, or did He keep some of that for Himself? Did He give more to one family in our town than He gave to the other? Maybe you walked into the home, you and your family, your wife walked into a home in that country, and you were there for half a day and then you walked out. 3 weeks later, there's a new bicycle and some new clothing, and all of a sudden their child is going to university. The other people in the community are going to be jealous, there's going to be envy, there's going to be strife, there's going to be all kinds of things that go on because we just couldn't leave the country without helping that family. That kind of thing, the emotional, driven response without reflecting on it. So, but trust is a firm foundation. It's a firm foundation, and you build that relationally. You don't build that economically. Okay? Pardon? Yeah. Yeah, that's Bishop Devon, Southern Sudan. Remember about. So, helping the poor and unreached isn't like the movies, okay? We're all agreed. If you build it, they will. That works for Kevin Costner. But if you're going to another country, reverse the paradigm. If you build them, it will come. So we're moving away from things and we're moving toward people. Helping people to be and to do everything that God intends for His glory and for their well-being. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. So, how much time do I got? 15? Okay, I might finish it. So, my preference would be that you go with 2 or 3 good ideas and not 20 ideas that you're trying to get into your notebook. So, it's okay. I'm going to tell you a story about Moses and Penina Samani. Now, Moses is a pastor in a village called Bukaye in rural Uganda. And when I mean rural Uganda, this is like out in the bush, and the homes aren't like they are in Bemidji. Okay, they're a lot of them are thatched. There's some tin roof on them, and Moses, I had a chance to walk alongside him for a couple, 3 years, and we used a whole life discipling approach with him and a number of other pastors to help them get beyond that feeling or that belief, for instance, that, well, we always assumed that development was just rich people giving things to poor people. Do you guys, what? Well, let's explore God's Word and see what God's Word says about that. Let's look at Ephesians 2:10 about those good works that God prepared for us from the beginning. Moses, those good works are yours. I'm not going to steal those from you. Those are yours, brother. You know, we're here to help you walk into those, not steal them from you for our own glory. And so Moses, he's taken some of this stuff to heart. It took 2 or 3 years for him to for things to start to settle in. He's a pastor of a church. And he said, and all I did every Sunday was just preach and preach and preach. And, you know, our church was just stagnant for 20 years. And Moses, we talked to Moses and said, now Moses, you know, of course, we had Moses parting the Red Sea. I said, Moses, why don't we just start with you parting your coffee in the morning? Why don't you start at home with some of these principles that you're learning about community mobilization, about empowerment, and about problem solving? Why don't you try some of those in your home? Moses said, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. Was God would have it a few months after that, his daughter who was just about ready to graduate from high school, said, now, Papa, she said, I've always dreamed of going to university in Kampala. I know you're a poor pastor, we hardly make ends meet. So, Dad, if you want me to just drop that dream, I would. I'll just drop it. It's okay. You know, God's in control. He said, well, he was thinking about some things that we talked about. He said, let's just go home and talk to the family about that. So that evening, they went home. Had the meal. The family all sits around. All the kids, everybody, even down to their little daughter, like 5 years old. You know. And Moses said, now, I'm going to invite your oldest sister here. She's going to share her burden with you guys. And he said, now share it with everybody. And he shared it with the family. And Moses then said, now, before we get into talking about this, can we just stop for a minute and thank God for what we already have? Not what we don't have. Let's thank him for what we have. So they prayed. Thank you, Lord, for the roof over our head. Thank you for the food we have. Thank you for the beds we sleep in. Thank you that we can at least go to school. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that they prayed, and then afterwards, I just sort of led into a discussion about the things we had. And two of his sons said, well, Dad, we've got almost 3 hectares of land that we inherited. It's way out the back there. There's some trees growing on it, but Dad, that's our land. Dad, we've got hoes and shovels we know how to use. We could do something, Dad. We could help our sister. Dad, what if we raised yams? Brother, hey, get your pen and paper out. Real time, the boys are doing the math. Okay, what's a hectare of yams normally yield the price that time of year? Sis, what's tuition at university? What's going to cost? She gave him a figure. They were, family, look at this. We can do this. We can do this. So they organized. And they organized the day that they were going to plant that field. And everybody had a role. You know, the brothers, mom, dad were out there. Came midday, you know, and they got to midday, and one of the boys said, Dad, are we going to really be able to do this? Nobody's ever done this in our community. He said, let's just do what we can. They finished the field. Now, when they organized the labor, everybody got a role. But when they got down to the little sister, you know, with the little squiggly pigtails, she said, Papa, she said, I can't work in the field. But on that day, I'll cook the food. I'll cook. She did. And they ate. And that evening, imagine that family coming back together in that home. Can you see the look in their eye? That's not gratitude to an American. That's, God, what have we done? The neighbors are watching. Those Somalis are crazy. What they're doing is crazy. But it's good. Look at them, what they're doing. I'm going to fast forward. Their daughter graduated from university 3 years ago. The second two have also graduated from university. Not because he got a check from the Americans. It's because they mobilized what God had given them. I think their fourth is getting ready to go. And, you know, Moses, when he tells that story, he said, you know, when you guys came here, I thought this was some kind of project. I thought it was some kind of program. He said, this is a lifestyle. He said, I understand what discipleship is. He said, I'm a discipling pastor now. Penina and I, we go to other families' homes and they ask us, how did you do that? He said, it's not hard. So they're like the Dave Ramseys of Bukayi. They're showing people how to manage their resources. And he's also empowering leaders in his church for the first time to visit widows, orphans. They have a lot of AIDS orphans there. And he's empowering church leaders to do that. So we're sitting having a little leadership powwow. I said, so Moses, are the people being served, are they disappointed that you're not there visiting? No, they love people coming and praying. So how about your leaders that you're empowering? He said, oh, well, they feel like they can do everything. And they're so empowered. I said, Moses, how's that margin thing working for you and Penina? He said, priceless. Priceless. That is the kingdom. That's what happens when people are helped helpfully in a way that helps them walk into the good works that God's created for them and not taking it away from them. Amen? So, just a final rock. You know, we're talking about rocks, picking rocks out of our thinking. Maintaining a glass half full perspective and working with the poor and unreached. Many of you might say, well, you know, I think pretty positively about people. But I've done an exercise that I don't have time to do here, where I would typically ask a group, let's think about life, and maybe I'll just take the Red Lake Indian Reservation, maybe First Nations community up here someplace by Red Lake. What's life like there? Then I would solicit responses from you. Okay? We'd listen. If you're like every other group I've ever been with, your glass half empty perspectives will dominate your glass half full perspectives 5-1. So it's an issue. It's a rock. And yeah, the half empty perspective. We need to look and see, you know, you ever Henry Blackaby experiencing God? God's always at work. Our job is to look and see where he's at work and join him. And we have to have those appreciative eyes to see it. Not to see what's lacking, but to see what exists, what can be built up. It's all about, Lord, change me as we work with the poor. Philippians 4:8 sort of captures this better than I do. Paul says, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Think about those things. And he's not just talking about in your prayer life, he's talking about your walk. He's talking about everything you do. And in your relationships, especially with those who haven't had as many life advantages, try that with them. Try it with that and see what God does in your relationships. You will be amazed. The poor, the unreached like to hang out with people like that. They'll hang out with you. Yeah. So helping that helps. That's what we're talking about here. Just another brief story. How much time have I got? I got 1 minute. Woohoo! Okay. Paul Tabe, pastor in northern Ghana. He learned the same things that Moses did. And you can look at the background there. That's a pretty sparse-looking environment, and their village kind of looked that way. And they...
got 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Oh! So Paul was mentored in a similar way to Moses. Paul learned some skills also in mobilizing his entire community to begin solving problems. So, and he formed a team around himself, including his wife and some others from different churches in his community. Now that's a new one for Kanimo, his village. Members of different churches got together and he trained them as a team. And that's how to mobilize the community, how to begin changing aspects of our lives in the community together. Okay? Well, the chief got word of that and he was pretty excited. He called Paul in one day and said, now Paul, I like what you guys are doing. So let's build a school. Paul said, oh, okay, that might be a good idea. What do you say we get the people together and we'll do some thinking about the different kind of issues we have in the community, and then maybe we can invite them to sort of prioritize the different things? The chief said, okay, that's a good idea. So Paul organized the community. There's a process that they were able to evaluate the different issues that they had. What was number one? The fact that the well that they get water from was over 1 kilometer away, and their women are having neck and back issues, even the young girls, because they have to carry water. water twice a day. And the women were going, yes, we want that. And so they decided, as a community, they were going to deal with the water issue. So one person said, well, that's bigger than we are. So we got to call an NGO to come and dig the well for us. Paul said, oh, maybe. That'll cost us about $15,000 US. He said, I checked. He said, but let's think back. That well that we have back there, has that ever run dry? No. Has anybody in our community died of thirst in the last year? No. Man, we can thank God for that well, can't we? That's kept us in water. He said, who dug that well? He said, our great-grandfathers. He said, so how do you think they did that? What kind of tools did they use? Just imagine them. Did they have to organize? They said, well, yeah, they had to organize and they had to do this. And they started discussing. Suddenly, several young men stood up and said, stop! Of course we're thankful to grandfathers for digging that well, but who are we? Why can't we do something also? The community organized, went to the chief, and said, we're going to put in a well. Chief said, okay, let's look at the community. Who needs it the most? These people that are furthest from the existing well, we're going to put it right here. So they organized and they began digging. 3 days, 4 days, no water. No water. You would have thought they would have been discouraged and they would have given up and said it's bigger than we are. But they didn't, because they remembered their grandfathers. Maybe our grandfathers found the same problem. They went back to the chief and the chief said, okay, let's try here. So they start digging again. Community. Digging 1 day, 2 days. These wells go down 20, 30 meters. A long way, as far as from one wall to the other. Digging down, trying to find water. And finally, somebody runs through the community. Water! Get water! Come! Everybody's running to this well site. And they see their brothers. They see their dads. They see their uncles, muddy, crawling out of this well. But what's the look in their eye? The eye of the tiger. The eye of the tiger. You know what I mean? And so they looked at that. The little girls just looked at their uncles and said, they just looked up. God, how could you do this? How could you do this? And they celebrated that night. And the next morning they looked at each other and said, you know, that wasn't that hard. So they dug in number 2, number 3, and number 4. Everybody now has a well within 200 feet of their house. In the community. They did it themselves. They've also done so many other things. Everybody in the community has national health insurance now because they did the calculation and realized that they were all paying more for medicines than they would be for paying a health premium. They did the research themselves now. Everybody's insured. They pretty much wiped out malaria. And I'll finish with this story. Paul goes into a regional hospital one day. The administrator noticed him. And he said, what's wrong with you guys, Paul? Paul said, what do you mean? He said, we used to get all your malaria cases. Have we offended you? Paul said, thanks for the evaluation. Here's what we did. And the administrator is like, what? So Kanimo's, in the region now, they have a new name for Kanimo community. They just, in their language, they call it happiness community. Happiness. I think that's a pretty descriptor for the kingdom. Happiness community. Paul Tabi knows how to help in a way that helps. And these are examples of the kingdom movements that are happening around the world when we get out, get behind people instead of getting in front of them and empower them to do what God intends. So are we hurting or helping? Well, if we do the right thing for the right reason, the right way at the right time, it's probably going to be helpful. And the biggest problem, just as you consider, if you're sending teams, you're going out, just remember the biggest problem is when we use a relief approach among the economically poor, but in chronic situations that demand a long-term developmental approach, and a long-sighted approach, helping people to grow like Moses and like Paul, and like many, many others. A classic case study today is Haiti. Haiti is a free-for-all. Everybody comes and does what's right in their own eyes. And it's just that way. So just a word of counsel, stop. You know, don't be so much led by your emotions, but stop and assess the situation you're considering objectively and prayerfully. Then pursue the kind of help the situation warrants. Are you equipped to offer that kind of help? If so, great. If not, find somebody else who can. Not for your well-being, but for the well-being of the people we're serving. Okay? It's in their best interest. And so, just helping that helps, picking out the stones, and glorifying God as we advance the kingdom among the unreached who also are economically poor. Now, some of you may want to pursue this a little further. I work in partnership with the Navigators, what's called a Navigators Associate nowadays. And we teach an online course called Discipling for Development Foundations that goes into depth exploring other kinds of themes of theology, biblical basis of whole life discipleship, God's redemptive purposes. What's poverty? It's like a throwaway word. Anybody ever seen Princess Bride, the movie? What does the Spaniard keep telling Cassini? You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. We throw around words all the time like poverty, stamping out poverty. We have no idea what we're talking about. So looking biblically at some of these things and getting the rocks out. So this is an online course. The next offering will be in mid-May, the week beginning May 13th, running through the first week of August. If you're interested in diving a little deeper on this, come back and see me at the table here in the corner, and we can talk about it. But if not, or if so, may God be glorified in your lives, in and through them, and we're going to land the plane now. So thank you all very, very much. God bless.